Hello! You guys caught me before I went to work, because I wake up fantastically early. This is just a little vid I'm gonna make, talking about how Nintendo has really, how the Wii U has changed from what it was to what it is, in the space of less than 2 years. So after the cut, we'll get into it. So, here we are, and I downloaded the 5.0 the 5.0 system upgrade last night, system update, and this really has added some additional functionality to the system. It's not perfect. They still need folders so you can organize your games, because people with minor OCD like me just want to categorize their games. Like, these are Wii U games, these are downloadable titles, these are virtual console titles. But I mean, you know, that'll probably come sometime down the road. There is really this system has changed a lot as time has progressed. It has gone from being what essentially many people felt, and in many ways it was an HD Wii, I mean, for lack of a better word, to being its own separate thing. I know a lot of people say there needs to be better gamepad usage. There needs to be better gamepad usage. But the fact that I can do off-screen TV play with most of my games is gamepad usage to me. So, to me, that still is the same. This system has really changed since it first leapt onto the scene. It has become more, how should I put this? Bigger, badder. It's just the system has really started to chisel out its own. The games coming to it have been relatively unique. And if they weren't unique, they were a noticeable upgrade from the past generation. Like New Super Mario Bros. U. I mean, even though, you know, we had New Super Mario Bros. 2 and New Super Mario Bros. Wii and all that stuff, New Super Mario Bros. Wii U is just a completely different game than the other two. Might tread over familiar territory, but it plays very differently. And you know, the Wii U is beginning to fulfill the promise that was made, you know, less than 2 years ago. We're getting games that we cannot play on any other console. It started earlier than now. It started with The Wonderful 101 and Zombie U and Lego City and Batman Arkham City Armored Edition. It started with those games where you were doing things with the gamepad that couldn't be done on anything else, or getting games that could only be gotten on this system. And it's continued forward into Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which is a really friggin' awesome game, and Wind Waker HD and stuff like that. And now we've gotten Mario Kart 8, or as I like to call it, Mario Crack 8, because that game is friggin' addictive. You know, we're beginning to see what Nintendo is all about. Quality software, quality hardware. And this is why I like Nintendo systems, because, you know, I'm always going to get something that's worthwhile and that has value. Now, that being said, are there a few things that could be made better? Yes. Like I said, folders, an easier to use friend system, a more user-friendly friend system, because, you know, set to 100 friends. I'm not really big on friend systems, but on the friend list, but I've heard that a lot of people have multiple friends, huge amounts of people who have Wii U's that they want to play with, and it's a big issue for them. So either let us have a bigger friend list or multiple friend lists. That would be cool. that being said, let us segue this into what this is going to mean for Nintendo at this E3 after the cut. So this leads into E3. What does E3 have to hold? Nintendo is basically going to have to show a lot of games, which I believe they're going to show. Probably Miyamoto's going to show his new IP. And it's probably going to be awesome, because most of Miyamoto's games are awesome. So Miyamoto's going to show his new IP. Sony's going to show their new IP. Microsoft's going to show their new IPs. Well, no. Microsoft's going to show their new IPs. Microsoft's going to show Fable Anniversary Edition, Halo Anniversary Edition, maybe some target renders of Halo 5. They're going to show a string of third-party games and present them as being Xbox One exclusive, but they're not. There's going to be maybe 2 or 3 Xbox One exclusive third-party games like Sunset Overdrive and Project Spark, if we're lucky, knock on wood. Sony's going to do the same thing. They're going to, because they seem to have some type of special contract with Ubisoft, so we're going to see a lot of Ubisoft games. The Division will be presented as it's like only on a PS4, PS3 exclusive, which is bullshit, but whatever. It's going to be up to all 3 parties to show games. Nintendo's going to probably show more games than everyone else. Even with third-party support, they're going to show more games than everyone else. You know, they're going to be bringing the pain. They're going to be bringing the pain. No effing around, just pain. Pain and suffering. So, with that being said, I'm just going to burst into wild speculation. I'm not going to speculate on what Nintendo's going to show. I'm just going to speculate on what I would love Nintendo to show. They probably won't, but I would love it anyway. I want Mewtwo in Smash Brothers, just so that I can have a battle between Mewtwo and Lucario. Because let's be frank here, we all want to see that fight. The ultimate psychic Pokemon versus the legendary Aura using fighting metal type Pokemon. We have to see that matchup because we all know who would win. We want to see the matchup between I would like to see Chrom from Fire Emblem Awakening, because he was friggin' cool. Or, if not Chrom, maybe the Swordmaster dude, who happened to be the prince of that weird country. I forgot his name, but he was pretty cool, too. Let's see, what else? The one who was afraid of women. That guy was pretty cool. In terms of what else Nintendo can show, I mean, if the sky's the limit. If they even show just a brief trailer of the new Zelda Wii U that's coming out in 2015, I'll be ecstatic with that. If they show an extensive trailer of Hyrule Warriors, I'm going to be happy with that. If they show a hint of what this Project Steam is, I think it might be Retro's new IP, I'll be happy with that. Look, Nintendo is like Santa Claus, is like Christmas. You never know what you're gonna get, but you know it's gonna be awesome, more or less. So, I'm looking forward to that. Which segues nicely into the other 2 members of the E3, of the big 3, Sony and Microsoft, after the cut. Let's see. The Xbox One is not the system that it was when it first released. When it was first released, everyone thought it was going to be, Microsoft wanted to be a next-gen system and all this. And now, with all the 180s they've made, it's basically the Xbox 360 2.0. It's the Xbox 720. It's more powerful than the Xbox 360, but in general, nothing has changed. Cloud computing isn't where it needs to be for the cloud to be really utilized well, so that was kind of a BS marketing point in the beginning anyway. The DRM BS has been proven to be false, so that was not going to work either. The Kinect is still an imperfect piece of technology. To tell you the truth, the Kinect, I mean, I've played with the Kinect at my friend's house. I played the Double Fine family fun game that was made by Double Fine for the Kinect. I've played, let's see, what else have I played? I've played that weird Ubisoft fighting game for the Xbox One using the Kinect, and it's still an imperfect piece of technology. As a matter of fact, it's been easier for me, to tell you the truth, the Wiimote, and I'm not talking about Wiimote Plus, the original Wiimote is easier to use and is more precise than, in some ways, than the Kinect has been. The Kinect's microphone works pretty well, but it's still kind of tinny, and just, I mean, why not use headphones? Why? I think that Phil Spencer has really begun to get the Xbox brand back on track. I don't agree how he's been doing it, firing developers and stuff like that. I mean, they've got Rare sitting there, you know, just stewing in their own juices. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't have a clue. I'm not gonna buy an Xbox One anyway, so it's a moot point. But I don't know. Sony is gonna have to deliver on the games this year. They're gonna have to have something coming out this year, and I don't mean remasters of shit that you can get on PS3. I mean actual new shit. And I don't think they can afford to do it, monetarily wise. I mean, you saw that Capcom game get canceled because, you know, Sony was gonna money had it and the budget was going too high, and they're like, fuck it, we can't deal with it. People need to realize that Sony's money isn't flowing very well right now, okay? So I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen this E3 between Sony and Microsoft. What I do know, what I heavily suspect, is that they're going to try and steal Nintendo's thunder, and it's gonna fail miserably because, you know, you can't steal the king of video games' thunder. You can't do that. But that's just how I feel. That being said, we'll go to our conclusion after the cut. Okay, it's time for the conclusion. In conclusion, these consoles have really begun to change into their own thing. These companies are starting to define their narrative. Nintendo, it's going to be about the games. Xbox, it's about getting back the people that they lost. And PlayStation's going to have to start fulfilling some of this hype they've been building, because, I mean, hype alone doesn't do shit. Hype is like talking about how you're going to rock a girl's world if she gives you some. You're such a badass. Yeah, man, you really know how to lay it down. And then you actually do it, and it's like 30 seconds, and you've embarrassed yourself and wasted that girl's time. And that's Sony right now. It's like, really? That's it? That's all you got? Wow, you're pathetic. You know. And, you know, that's Sony right now. Pathetically, you know, hyping people up, and then the actual experience is way different. Like, this is the hype, this is the actual experience. You know, it's like, it's gonna be awesome, and the actual experience, meh. It's, meh. To quote Reggie, to quote the Reginator, I'm allowed to say meh about Sony right now. Meh. Now, does that mean I'm not gonna get a PS4? Yeah, I'll probably get a PS4, but it's probably gonna be this year or maybe even next year if a bundle comes out with a game that I actually give a shit about. Because right now, everything that I really want is also coming to the PS3. So, what possible reason do I have to get a PS4 right now. I mean, there's no game out that really makes me want to say, you know what, I want to spend $400 plus tax on this. Why? I mean, there's no games out for the PS4. There are games out for the Xbox One, but they aren't really high quality games. Like, I mean, why do I want Forza when I've got Mario Kart? Why would I want and no, Rise Son of Rome does not count as a great game. No. It's a graphical showcase, and the Crysis developers, Crytek, had to lower their expectations because the Xbox One isn't nearly as powerful as Microsoft wanted everyone to think it was. So, you know, and I'm not surprised because, like, the Xbox One was initially built to basically to integrate itself with your television technology. The thing is like, in terms of integrating itself with people's television technology, it's about 10 years behind the curve because a lot of people aren't even using TVs anymore. So that's a stupid ass thing to integrate. And cloud computing, it's 10 years in front of the curve because cloud computing is not where it needs to be, where you can use shit like that. So I don't know what they were thinking when they were making that console. Sony just basically made the PS 3.5. Okay, it's just a PS3 more powerful. That's it. There's nothing, and it doesn't use the cell processor. It's easy to program for. It's, you know, both of these systems use x86 architecture, which is a modified x32 architecture, which is basically what you'd find in a fucking laptop. So basically, when you're playing your Xbox One and your Xbox One and your PS4, you're playing a gaming laptop, a heavily customized gaming laptop. Congratulations. So next time you hear someone who's a console owner bragging about how powerful their system is, you're playing a gaming laptop. There's nothing wrong with a gaming laptop. I've got like an older gaming laptop, but still, I mean, quit bitching and bragging about how powerful your gaming laptop is. You idiot. But with that said, just enjoy your games. Enjoy your system. Play your games. And if your system doesn't have games, why'd you buy it? Aside from hype, and games that might or might not come out to it. So, yeah. And game on.